video, we're going to talk about the breathing techniques and their relation to sex endurance. For the newcomers, this channel is a channel where we talk about the premature ejaculation and how we can affect it with exercises. So this is a channel that we're not talking about some supplements or some medications. Uh, we leave this to other channels. Here we are focused on how can we affect um, our endurance in bed um, only with using exercises. We, of course, take a lot of knowledge from ancient techniques like yoga and traditional Chinese medicine. This channel is mainly affected about from these areas. And in this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about the breathing techniques because usually in this channel we are way more focused on, let's say, stretchings and for example, applying self massages or something like that. I'm just gonna, yeah, move the camera a little bit. All right. So basically, before I start talking a lot about the breathing techniques, I'm gonna enter one of the positions that I realized is very good, especially if it is done the way I'm doing it. This is the Baddha Konasana, or also known as butterfly pose in modern world, in Western world. As you see, this is elastic band, and to improve the stretch more, I'm using these um, weights to press uh, my knees closer to the ground, and thus to add more stretching in the hip joints. And this is a very good posture for relaxing the pelvic floor area. All right, I have 5 kilos on each of every one of my knees. Okay, so um, moving forward, breathing techniques and how they can affect our endurance in bed. So basically, uh, let's start from traditional yoga techniques. Okay, uh, traditional yoga techniques are not well known because the trend from recent years is more into like Wim Hof method and some other breathing techniques that I'm not even that familiar with them, and the traditions are a little bit put aside. And if you follow my channel, I'm fan of the traditions. So in my way of thinking, um, if we modernize and westernize the traditional yogic techniques and the techniques from the traditional Chinese medicine and qigong, we um, are most probably to make them worse and less effective than better and more effective. Um, so these wise men from the past, these rishis, these people who dedicate their life in experimenting with breathing techniques and other types of techniques, in my opinion, have deeper knowledge on how something affects the body and the mind. Let's start with the basic yogic techniques For example, Keivalya. If you are familiar with Keivalya, this is the technique that you are basically breathing in ratio 1 to 1, which is, for example, you breathe in for 5 seconds and breathe out for 5 seconds. There is no holding the breath, and you are doing this breathing technique without some effort, like some muscle effort, like this. You should do it very gentle, very comfortable, while sitting somewhere comfortable. This technique is the basic of yoga, and in my opinion, cannot affect how much you endure in bed, but it can be the basis for to have a good foundation from where to start to improve your breathings and your breathing knowledge, also to prepare your body and to clean ice some blockages that can um, be a problem when you go to more advanced breathing techniques. So in my opinion, this Keivalya is a very good starting point. For example, you can stay like for 3, 4, 5 days for, let's say, 10 minutes, just sitting somewhere. You can sit on a couch, but your spine should be relatively straight. You can sit on the floor if you are comfortable with it. If you can stay 10 minutes without being disturbed by any pain in your body. So you can just start by breathing for 5 or for 4 seconds and breathe out for the same time. This is very good preparation for your ability to go to more advanced techniques. In my opinion, you should not expect any improvement in sex life, maybe just a slight, but the real improvement comes after you switch to one of the most famous yogic techniques, which is alternative breathing. It's called Nadi Shuddhana, and it goes like this. In most books, they use like something like this. This is the technique there that basically you breathe only through one nostril. Once you breathe in, you change and breathe out through the other nostril. Without switching the nostrils, you breathe in again. Then you switch and breathe out. And you repeat, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. This is Nadi Shuddhana, and this technique is a little bit more advanced, and it also has effects on 2 energy channels that are very, very deep. They are called Ida and Pingala. It harmonizes them, and it also purifies these channels. So once you switch from Keivalya to Nadi Shuddhana, you will probably start to experience some effects from it. Like you can see that you last a little bit longer. You have a little bit more energy. Of course, I'm talking only about the sex life. Of course, you have improvements in other areas of life too, but we are focused on sex life. So you maybe can notice better erection, a bit better libido, and the thing here is, if you are new to breathing techniques, you should just go with Nadi Shuddhana, like, let's say, between 1 week and 1 month, something like that. And then we go to the best part, which is Nadi Shuddhana with holding the breath after breathing in. So we hold the breath every time we inhale. Okay, so basically the Nadi Shuddhana should go something like this. You breathe in, hold, and then breathe out. Breathe in, hold, and then breathe out. So here it's like where you can expect some very good improvement, especially on erection and endurance. In my opinion, if you go straight to Nadi Shuddhana with holding the breath, it can have the opposite effect. Also, oh, thanks, we have a comment, thank you. Also, the if you like only do the breathing without regular stretching, the effect also can be less. In my opinion, stretching is something that you should never stop doing. Stretching your pelvis, especially I like the most the things I'm teaching here in this channel. This posture and also the Lajin in reclining position. These are the best stretches so far that I've discovered in my life. And combining them with Nadi Shuddhana with holding the breath will be very good combination. Recently, I spent some time researching the breathing techniques. So last month, maybe almost a year actually, I've spent with experimenting with different breathing techniques, and within the breathing techniques, which is like how long I should do the Nadi Shuddhana, how long I should hold my breath, and these kind of experiments. So where I am so far is it is very good if you are new to this breathing technique to do it like 15 minutes of Nadi Shuddhana with holding the breath only for 1 second. Because if you go straight to holding the breath like 3 seconds, it will be too much for you. Also, you can, when you have some experience, you can switch to practicing it for 10 minutes, but holding the breath a bit more, between 2 and 3 seconds. The effects from all this are in erection for sure. Some people lose their erection because of mild disturbance during sex, and breathing techniques with holding the breath are very good for this problem, for solving this. You are way more resistant to uncomfortable situations and keeping your erections in them. And also is very good for lasting longer when combined with stretching. It is it makes it more English. So, okay, if you do both, you'll probably last longer than if you only do one of them. Like if you do stretching only, and stretching combined with breathing, most probably you will last more when you combine stretching with breathing. And one good way to save some time, because it takes a lot of time to both stretch and do the breathing techniques in one day, you can combine these two. While you are stretching like this, you need a standard elastic band. I bought this from Decathlon. If you're from Europe, or I don't know, if you basically can buy this from so many places. These are the types of elastic band that usually people who practice calisthenics use. They hang them to the bars and help them by reducing weights. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same one. But you can. I forgot. I think that this is with resistance of 35 kilos. But we have 25 in our home, and it works the same. So you basically need this. You need a few weights, and of course, because the weights will be very cold, and we avoid cold here, we avoid direct exposure to cold with our body. You can cover your knees with some blanket. Okay, with that said, you're in this position and you can do this breathing technique while you are stretching. So in this way, if you plan to spend from 15 to 30 minutes in butterfly pose, you can do your breathing technique in the same time, and you can reduce the time of your practice. So yeah. With that said, we can go to some of the favorite topics of some of my subscribers, which are bandhas. And some of you might not know, but we have locks in yoga. 3 of them are most common, which is the lock of the throat, lock of the abdomen, and the pelvic lock. They are called Jaladhara Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and Mua Bandha. And basically, these locks are moving the energy and at the same time transforming it. And basically, who is absolute master of these locks can last as much as he wants. But actually, this is absolutely not the point. If you are absolute yogic master, the last thing you will care is how much you last in bed. But let's say this is a different topic. So basically, some people practice something that is breathing technique during the sex, not like me, like everyday life. During the sex, they hold their breath and contract the pelvic floor, the abdomen, and the lock of the throat. And thus, they are transforming this sexual energy while they are having sex, and avoid ejaculating, and sometimes experiencing the so-called multi-orgasms, or they feel orgasm in the head, but not the pelvis. So this is orgasm without ejaculation. In my opinion, this thing is very hard, very, very, very hard to achieve. And also, it is like, for me, if you are premature ejaculator, so you can last, let's say, 5 seconds, and you jump to learning this, it's something like to go to have fight with some of these UFC champions if you have some kind of disabilities. It ain't gonna happen, because being able to have these locks, to apply these locks and control these processes in your body, transforming the energy while you are having sex, it requires health. It requires you to be healthy and to be clean from all these blockages that let you ejaculate in a few seconds, for example. You need some kind of foundation if you want to learn this. But there is a very good practice that includes these locks, and I've uploaded a practice like this in my channel here. It uses these locks in a very gentle way, and it affects this sexual transformation of the energy, like the transformation of the sexual energy, and you really do not feel like you want to ejaculate that much. You can find it. It is called Quick Yoga for PE and ED, which is premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. It is in this channel. And what I've recently discovered, this is my discovery that really added a big change in my performance. It is that when I combine the Nadi Shuddhana breathing, which is breathing through these nostrils, and then like breathing for 10 or 15 minutes, and then doing this quick yoga for PE and ED in this order, it improves my performance by a lot. So if you have some desire to try it, you can ask your doctor if it's fine for you to do these techniques. You can show the video to him, and if he says yes, you can feel free to do them, because there might be some contraindications that I don't know. This is the reason that is very dangerous to take advice from someone from YouTube, because the doctor's position is very important. The guy on YouTube can show you the exercise, but he is not in the position to say if you should or should not practice this exercise, right? So this should be your disclaimer. I am doctor myself, and I do my regular prophylactations. I check my blood regularly and stuff like that. I have this knowledge, and I know my body, so I know what might or might not be dangerous. Even though I'm veterinarian, I still have the knowledge that I know what might turn out to be dangerous for me. So yeah, ask your doctor before trying something from a guy from YouTube. With that said, I think the only thing that I didn't mention is how you should place your fingers, hands during this Nadi Shuddhana breathing. There are a few ways, like you can use your arm like this. You touch your forehead and use your thumb and this finger. I don't know what's the name of it. In Bulgarian, we call it the no-name finger. So you basically go like this, hold, and then go like this. So the other way, which I prefer myself, is this one. You touch your thumbs and go to the soft part behind your chin, and then you place your middle fingers at the border of the bone and the cartilage in your nose. So it's with very gentle touches, you can control it like this. Of course, if you do this technique only for 5 minutes, no good things are going to happen, no bad things are going to happen, nothing will happen actually. In other words, the dosage matters. It really matters how long you will do it. In my opinion, everything below 10 minutes is close to nothing. Yeah. I am actually right now working on a book that I'm gonna explain actually these two exercises, the combination of these two exercises, stretching in the butterfly pose and the breathing. I basically explained them here in this video. I'm not that type of guy that keeps the knowledge just for the money, so everyone should be able to learn it. But the work on the book is very slow because I'm working like daily job, and my eyes are burning after whole day in front of the computer, and then I don't have the desire to stay and work on my book again. Okay guys, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's something new to the channel, but I believe that if you want to experiment with it, it could turn out to be something good for you. All right, I shared also my practice with you. I probably was in a butterfly pose for more than 20 minutes, which is relatively fine. Thank you so much guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.